Welcome to this video on how to configure Filr for LDAP going against Active Directory. First thing we need to do is go into the administration console, and towards the bottom of the menus on the left hand side you'll find LDAP. Just select that, and then we can add in a new Ldap server by just clicking on the clicking on the add button. Type in the Ldap server URL. This is going to be ldap : / and then the server name. In my case that's going to be ad.demo.live, and then a colon and the port number, which is 389. We can go through on secure LDAP, which is port 636. However, you need to import the LDAP certificate into the certificate store for that to work. Next, we need to put in our user DN. This is a proxy user who has rights to the directory. I normally create a user called Filr Proxy, and we just need to put in the FDN of that user. So that's going to be Filr Proxy, then MGMT, then DC is Utopia, then Microfocus, and then com. And then we need to just put in the password and change the directory type from eDirectory to Active Directory. That should change our GUID and file account name attributes. Next, we just need to click on users, and we can add in a new user source here. So we need to put the base DN of the container with our users in that we wish to import. I can just type it in here, but I prefer to click on the browse button. And indeed, this is the first time we know that the settings we put on the previous page are actually correct. So the user ID and password, and indeed the URL is right. In this case, I'm just going to select London. We can change the filter here if we wanted to. For instance, just bring in users of a particular group rather than all users. In this case, I'll leave it just at the default, which will bring in all users in that container, and I'll say search subtree underneath that. Down the bottom here we've got the home directory folder configuration. We've got some options here, but more often than not you're going to be using the LDAP home directory attribute for the home folder configuration, assuming you've got that populated in Active Directory. We then just need to click on OK, click on groups, and we'll just add a new group container for groups, which will be the MGMT. We can say search subtree. Again, we can change the filter here if we only want to bring in specific groups, but the important thing here is to bring in all groups in the system that are being used to assign file access controls. If we don't have a group and we don't know the membership of the group, we can't give a user rights to see files or a directory, and you may have users complain that they can't see files that they were expecting to see. Click on OK, and let's just click OK. And then there's some other settings that we need to just go through on the user settings side. I tend to check delete account. We get a little warning here just warning us about this. So this is going to delete any accounts from Filr that of users who are no longer in the LDAP environment, i.e. in Active Directory. So as you delete a user from Active Directory, it will get deleted from Filr. I'll also delete the associated user and workspaces and content. Then we just need to change the time zone. In my case, this is going to be GMT London, and you can change the locale for those users. If we go on to group settings now, we've got a similar setting here for do we want to delete groups that come in from LDAP but have been deleted from LDAP. Normally I enable that. Next, we need to set up the timings for this LDAP. So enable the schedule here. We can set this to go off every day or specific days of the week, and we can specify a particular time, though in this case I'm just going to say run it every 6 hours or so, and bring the users in. Typically it will be how long the LDAP synchronization takes that will govern whether you want to do periodic or once a day or at weekend. If it's going to take a long time to run the sync, you most probably want that to run outside production hours where your users are accessing Filr. Finally, we've got the local user accounts. So these are accounts of users who aren't in Active Directory, but you want to give them access to Filr and a bit of storage, personal storage they'd use in this instance, to put files in and be able to share files from there. Finally, what we want to do now is actually just go and run that synchronization. So if we just click on Sync All, we get a prompt here to save changes, which we're going to do, and hopefully that will bring the users in. There we go. We've got 1590 users and some groups coming in as well. So that's successfully set up LDAP against Active Directory. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it useful.